Well, I was born in St. John because my grandparents lived here on Main Street, and mother came from northern New Brunswick, where her husband was in the lumber business, so she'd be in a larger center to have me. And that was in February 1921. I'm in my 96th year now, so I'm feeling fine, and I enjoy being back in New Brunswick. And after spending 22 years with my naval husband, we traveled everywhere, and that was quite interesting too, but I was glad to get back here. Oh, I think being around with my grandmother a lot, they were very handy with their needlepoint and their sewing and tatting and all that sort of thing. And but I didn't want to sit still long enough to do that when I was younger. I wanted to be playing tennis and doing all the sports and things like that. And then when we moved back here, when my father passed away, we moved back here to look after mother, and I had her for another 15 years before she died, and I did learn a lot from her then too, yeah. I just started at the Y, but I got very impatient because most of the girls had to just bring up a stitch and then put it down, and I'll bring up another one and put it down. Now do this and do that, and they couldn't understand how to shade and to fix the flowers this way and that way. And it just came natural to me because all our family were painters. They did artwork and oil painting and things like that. The only one cut that I learned is very fine. It's the finest one there is. And I find it's far better than a heavy, bulky cut. I couldn't do that. I like to get it shaded all in together, and you can't do that with a heavy. I used to go down to Kennebunkport in Maine a lot and get my material, and I would and I'd always get magazines and books and things down there showing me pictures of different things that you could, and that's why I have one of the lighthouse down in New York, and I'd like to do that for the lighthouse at Gannett Rock that the great-great-grandfather built, and haven't got around to that yet. I don't know if I'll get it done. Roses? Oh, that had something to do with the family in Coventry, and everything was red rose. My grandfather named red rose tea, and everything was red roses, and it seemed to be the story of their life. An awful lot of things were red roses with the family. I used to do flowers most of the time, but lately I've been doing like more designs, a family design with the train or this and that, with the children get involved in, and you can use different colors, and you don't have to sit and shade it. I got down in Maine, and this wasn't on it at all. The train, the horses weren't the same. I didn't like their horses. I liked my own. And the wagon I changed that, and I changed this train. You can see it was a funny little train, and I put the big kitchen train on it, so I'd have that name in it. And then I'm going to take this part off and put a mill there for the lumber business. I thought of cutting it in two, and then I thought of just adding maybe every place we'd lived, in Washington, Ottawa, Burlington, Ontario, Thunder Bay, West Coast, but I haven't got enough years left. I think this was probably my favorite, yeah. I don't know, just the coloring and the design and the Airedale, the children, the water. It's a little bit of everything. I don't know. I've seen so many of them start and not finish, and they have to make up their mind and think that they're really interested in it, or, you know. I can remember sitting in the window and looking out on the Kennebecasis River over on the other side and trying to copy this and copy that and things like that. I think you have to sort of, it grows on you, or if it doesn't, well, pack it up.